All right, I think I am live. How's it going, everybody? Let me pop out the chat. That's on YouTube, so I don't have to look at the YouTube screen anymore. Can everybody hear me okay? How does everything sound? Gloria Mary, I think this is the first time I've seen you here before. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Let's see, who do we all have in here? We've got Eric Pool Guy Simpson, 29. Good job at taking me down on our little scrimmage that we had earlier today. That was awesome. Mr. Edit 1, Darren, how's it going? We got Ron, Russian Crush Gaming. AJ Tally, hey, how's it going, bud? Thanks for stopping by. TBZ, Roopster, all right, the whole crew is already here. Vaughn, thanks for stopping by. Oh, we've got Gloria Jean from Ride the 9 Tour. Awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Guys, if you don't know who Gloria Jean is, check her out on Facebook. She runs the virtual tournaments from the Ride the 9 tournament. It's actually really awesome. And actually, she is going to be interviewing me this coming Saturday, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see, we got Russell Donegan, David Briley. Thanks all for stopping by. So what I'm going to try to do today is I'm still going to be playing the 9-ball Ghost. And I'm going to be using Bang Time Pool's virtual 9-ball tournament rules where I can break, and I have to try to satisfy the 3-point rule, meaning that at least 3 object balls must pass the head string, or actually hit the head string. When I actually looked up the official rules for the 3-point rule, is that it has to hit the head string, meaning that it can land on the head string as well. It doesn't necessarily have to pass it. If I make a ball on the break, then only 2 balls have to hit the head string, and then if I make 2 balls on the head string, or if I make 2 balls on the break, only 1 ball has to pass the head string, and if I make 3, then I completely satisfy the 3-point rule. So it's got to be some sort of combination between making balls and getting object balls to pass the head string. 3 separate object balls. So in other words, I cannot make a ball pass the head string and then that same ball pocket, and that's supposed to count as 2 points. That's not how it works. That will still only be 1 point. So what I'm going to do, though, is that because in the current virtual 9-ball tournament that Bang Time is doing, is that there is a pattern rack. So all 9 racks that I'm going to play, I'm going to use the same exact pattern, which I'm going to let you, the viewers, choose. So the first person to type in a pattern will be the pattern that I use. So all I really need is numbers 2 through 8, because we already know where the 1 ball is going to go, and we already know where the 9 ball is going to go. So the first person to give me numbers 2 through 8 in any order is the pattern that I'm going to use. Let's see, AJ Tally, you're giving me 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8. Was that the pattern that you used on your match? All right. So I'm going to go through 9 racks, and you can see I've got a little bit of a different scoreboard this time. I'm actually going to track what I do on each rack, and the total will be automatically accumulated for me. So let's see. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2. And then what's the last one? 4, 6, 8. Okay. So just like I did before, I'm going to try to run through these racks. So while I'm away from the computer, y'all can just chat amongst yourselves, or you can try to post questions in the chat for me to answer when I get back. But if it scrolls off the screen and I do miss it, please forgive me. Just feel free to put the question back into the chat. But after I go through these first 9 racks, I'll just take a small break, chat with everybody, and then try to do this again. Because I am trying to see if I can actually score between 81 to 99, which is going to be some combination of me trying to be able to score 9s and 11s. And if I happen to not run out a rack, hopefully I score enough 11s. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Let me make sure the stream is actually okay. And yeah, you're seeing the view that I want you to see. So here we go. Anybody that might be new to 9-ball or new to my stream, since I'm using a magic rack, and I like to break from the left side of the table here, what I'm expecting to happen is that the 2 ball is going to fall into the corner pocket. That's almost like 100%. And so therefore, I just need 2 balls to cross the head string. So more than likely, I can get the 1 ball to cross the head string because it comes over and hits the side rail either here or here, and then just dribbles past the side rail, and I might get position for it for this corner pocket. And then the 8 ball banks off of the short rail and then starts heading down here, provided nothing gets in its way, and that'll also satisfy the 3-point if the 1 and the 8 cross over. If another ball happens to cross over, that just helps. But mainly, I'm trying to break with just enough power to get the 1 ball to cross the head string here, and then to get the 8 ball to cross the head string, as well as drop the 2 ball. Okay, you can see the 8 ball got in the way, but I made the 5 ball and the 7 ball cross the head string, so this is fine. This satisfies the 3-point rule. Now this is actually a really long shot, and so I'm going to take ball in hand. So since I'm taking ball in hand, that means if I were successful at running the table, I can only score a 9. Otherwise, I'm going to score whatever it is I'm going to score, as far as the balls that I was able to make. So because I'm actually going to be going for an 89 or possibly, or I'm sorry, an 81 through 99, I'm probably not going to do very much commentating. I'm just going to try to stay focused here. Actually did not mean to contact that 8 ball like that. That might have ruined my rack. Oh, if I was a little bit straighter, I might have tried to draw into the 8 ball so I can move it back in front of the side pocket. But now I might have to settle for this, because I do want to shoot it in that corner pocket since it's closer, but I got to make sure I get a good enough angle on it. So I'd almost like to get fairly straight on this 8 ball. Kind of like that. Even though really I don't want to shoot the 9 ball off the rail, but it doesn't look like I have much of a choice. I just need to be careful how I hit this 8 ball, because it can easily come off the side rail and just miss the shot. All right. So it's always good to start off on a good note there. So that is a 9. So and the way the score is going to work, this is actually kind of cool, or at least I hope it works this way. So you should see that rack 1 says a 9, and the total automatically says a 9. All right, so we got 135, 792, 468. Yes, 468. All right, so let's try the same thing again, except hopefully we can maybe try to go for an 11. Well, I mean, I still satisfied the 3-point rule. And really, my cue ball is supposed to be somewhere right around here, so I'm not hitting my cue ball the way I want it to. I have a shot on the 4 ball, but it's just too long for me to really risk going for an 11. But, you know, we can't really complain too much making 3 balls on the break. I think that's pretty good, right? Okay. Oh, cue ball. Why do you have to make me bridge over the 8 ball? It's my own fault. Okay. I've shot this enough times. This angle looks like I'm going to run into the 8 ball, but we're going to play it anyway. Okay, did I call it? I was going to run into the 8 ball. I've shot that 2-rail pattern now multiple times. It's a fairly common thing. As much as I'd like to try to go around it, but I think that just requires too much cue ball control that I'm not comfortable trying yet. All right, so I think I'm probably going to play the 9 ball into the same side pocket. Yuck. Still going to play it in the same side pocket, but of course I'd rather be like right here, straight in. Oh, okay. That's okay. I can take an 8. 9s and 8s are good. Now if I can just throw a couple of 11s in there, that'll be great. And I'll be right on pace. All right, so 135, 792, 468. And the main reason why I'm doing this is because in the tournament that I played in last, I managed to set the record, or not set the record, I actually broke the current record that was in that tournament. I think, if I remember correctly, I think that the current record was like 60, or the first record, I'm sorry, was around 62 or 63. Someone might be able to correct me on that. And then I eventually broke that record when I played in the tournament with a 65. And then during the finale, or the final match, I broke my own record with a 68. And so on an earlier live stream that you can find in my channel, I just did a live stream and did the same exact rules and broke my record again with a 70. So now I just want to see, can I land somewhere between 81 and 99? Obviously 81 would be if I did all 9s, and then 99 would be if I did all 11s. But if I can do a mixture of, even 8s can be included. I think a mixture of 8, 9s, and 11s, then I should be able to land somewhere in that range. Okay, I made 2 balls on the break, and the 1 ball passes the head string, so this is fine. And again, if my cue ball was just a little bit further, I'd be comfortable going for this. But let's see, what do we do? What do we do? 3 ball can obviously go into the corner, but if I attempt to play perfect position, I risk getting hooked behind the 9. Or I can try to come over here to play the 3 in the side. Both of them allow me easy access for the 4 ball. So that's what I'm trying to figure out what to do here with the cue ball, on how I want to play this 1 ball. Actually, now that I think about it, I need to make sure that I can make the 5, and I can. Yeah, so I think I pretty much have the rack figured out. I know where all the balls are going to go. I just have to put my cue ball where it's supposed to be on each shot. Okay, now so what's important is if I come over here and look, if I want somewhat of a straight in shot, I have to land somewhere way over here in comparison to where the 4 ball is. So it's not like I just want to make the 4 ball and get the cue ball to land somewhere right here. So it's probably ideal that I try to come 2 rails somewhere over here into this line, if I can. Maybe even 1 rail. But I chose the 2 rail route. Let's see here. I gotta be careful with this position though, because I don't want to land on an angle on the 7, because then that's gonna cause me to scratch. There we go, because now I'm at the opposite angle. I don't have to worry about scratching. Oh, crap. So this is what I don't want to do, is get scores like this. But I don't think I'm out of the works just yet. Because if I can't land between 81 and 99, I'm just going to end the set. So with, like, for example, we have 6 racks left to go. The best I can do is a 66. So that would put me at 89 if I were to score all 11s. But first set's always a warm-up set. I'm trying to dial in that break to where we can go for some 11s. Because last time I did this, I was breaking so hard that I would get position for the one ball in this pocket. Sometimes I would get it, sometimes I wouldn't get it. Now I'm kind of breaking the way I was when I was playing in the tournament by trying to get the one ball over here and have position on it. So kind of like this. I think I'm okay with trying this. Yeah, I can try for an 11 on this one. Don't get straight in. Goodness gracious. This makes it more difficult. Some of y'all might think it's an easy shot, and I agree with you, it's an easy shot, but I'm thinking about the rest of the rack. You know, how do I end up completing the rack from an easy shot when I actually want the shot to be a little bit harder, but it's easy for me because getting to the next ball is just easier. Goodness gracious. 3. Not good. All right, so 5 racks left. That's a 55. I have to go for all 11s. So this could be the last rack, and then I'll take a small break. Because 55 would put me at 81. And then maybe on the next attempt, I'll break harder and try to get the one ball over here by this pocket. Okay, this does not satisfy the 3-point rule, so I get one more chance. And if I don't get it this time, then it's a score of 0. 135, 792, 468. So we're good on that one. Never really want the one ball to drop though, because then I never know where the next object ball is going to be. And since I have to go for all 11s, I'm just going to try to cut this in. This is what makes everything so clutch. Don't get straight. I might be able to work with this. Hey, our first 11. Okay. All right, so make sure I have the math right. 44. Yeah, that's going to put me at that's going to put me at 81 if I can do it. 5 11s in a row. Let's see. Come on. You would think with magic racks it should be rather easy to get these balls to stick, but I think of course, the more I use this, the more worn it gets. And then it actually does start to take time to actually get these balls to settle in correctly. How many of y'all have ever used a magic rack and you don't make the wing ball in the corner pocket? Even when you think you set it up perfectly, you still don't make the wing ball. That's garbage. Because I have to go for an 11. So cue ball shouldn't be anywhere near down here. All right. There goes that. Do I get lucky anywhere? I do not. Okay. So, break time. I tried. Whew. All right, so let's sit down over here. And let's switch back to this. Okay, so what did y'all think of that as far as like the new scoreboard that I created? And of course my lousy first attempt, but we will do that again. What do we got here? What am I coming back to? Hey, Russell, good job on beating some 5s and 6s. Yeah, it won't be much longer before you go up. Monique Greer, nice to see you. Jared Newman, I know a couple of people are asking about me and Bryant from Corner 4 Billiards to try to square up. I mean, we live in the same state, so I'm not going to say that it's not possible. I think we're about close to three and a half hours away. But I'm pretty sure at some point in time we might run into each other. Okay, so no questions up there. How's everybody doing tonight? Dakota Bain, any tips for a struggling four? So I'm going to give you the same advice that I give everybody, which has nothing to do with your skill level, really. It's more just a matter of, what you're trying to achieve. So like when you say as a skill level 4, I would have to think that maybe you're trying to become a skill level 5, eventually become a skill level 6, et cetera, et cetera. Basically climb the ladder. Right, that would be the most common thing that every APA League player is trying to do, I would think. So the advice I always like to give is that you just need to be aware of what you're capable of doing and what you're not capable of doing, especially when you're in your league match. So when you're playing your matches, it is better to lose when you're playing your best, because that just simply means that you were outplayed. Which is perfectly fine. There's always people better than you. I mean, there's people that are better than me. But you do not want to lose when you're just trying to do things outside of your comfort zone, and you're just missing shots left and right, leaving easy outs for your opponent. So, when you play your matches, don't really try to do anything that you're currently working on, like in practice. Like if there's a certain type of bank shot, like a certain angled cut of a bank shot that you're working on, and it happens to come up in league, don't go for it. Just try to play some sort of defensive shot, or just look for something else. But when you are playing and when you're practicing, you need to really take note of your mistakes, and don't just say, "Oh, I missed the ball." You really need to understand, why did you miss? Did you miss because you were not aiming correctly? Did you miss because at the last second you're actually twitching your grip hand and you're accidentally throwing some type of side spin on the cue ball? That's usually one of the number one things that I see when I review people's videos, is that they have a little twitch in their stroke that actually causes them to not hit the cue ball where they intend. And then, of course, are you shooting too hard or too soft or just not right? Because even though you make the ball that you're making, is the position that you got on the next ball just terrible, right? Sometimes the ball that you miss is not really the ball that you made the mistake on. It's actually the previous ball that you made your mistake on, because you just did not get good position going from one ball to the next. Right, so the most common mistake I know players make, especially beginning players make, is they go, "Oh, I missed," and that's it. And they'll go one step further. They'll say, like, "I overcut it" or "I undercut it," and they'll just leave it at that. They actually won't dig really deep and truly try to understand what was the error in the mistake that they made. And so if you can work on those things and really try to stay focused on where your mistakes are happening, why your mistakes are happening, and stay within your skill set, then I can almost guarantee you that victories are going to start coming, and you're going to see progression at that point. You're not always going to see it. I mean, I have my reputation that I have, and y'all just saw how I performed, playing on the table. Sometimes I ran out, sometimes I missed. I mean, it's just the way it is. So it's an excellent question. I always love seeing that question, and I practically answer it the same exact way. Can you please tell us, rookies, where you're hitting the cue ball? This is by Jimmy Beasley, SR. I'm not going to be able to do that really while I'm playing the Ghost, because that just, I've already learned that it takes a lot of focus to commentate and play at the same time, which I can do. But considering what I'm trying to do tonight, it would just be too difficult. Like, and I really want to try to focus tonight and be able to try to score between 81 and 99. But if you go through any of my YouTube videos, like any of my APA League matches and a couple of other ones, I either tell you where I'm hitting on the cue ball, or I show you a cue ball diagram in the upper right corner and indicate where I'm hitting on the cue ball. And Gloria, my goodness, sweetheart, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. You know you don't have to do that, but I very, very much appreciate it. So, okay, break's over. I'm refreshed. Someone give me a pattern. We're gonna try to do a different pattern. Gloria, feel free to drop some links in the chat for the Ride the Nine tour, so that people can be aware of what you do. But first person to drop me a pattern, give me numbers 1 through 9 or 2 through 8. It really doesn't matter. Will Boland, that's not a valid pattern. Okay, I have Eric Pool Guy Simpson. I have your pattern. You were first. First come, first serve. Come on, let me copy, or here, let me just type it instead of copying it. So 173692584. Right? 173692584. Okay, so let's switch back to this. Everything's set back to 0. So really, all I have to do is just fix the racks that I made those mistakes on. Like I said, if I scored 9s and 8s, I think I'll be okay with that. And then just every now and again, I got to make sure that I throw in an 11. But I think if I score anything lower than that, that's when I'm in trouble. So 173. And then I'm going to be going back and forth because I never memorize these patterns. 692-584. So 692. Oh, 2 balls in the same spot. 584. Okay, so the 2 ball didn't move, so that's still going to be the ball that we expect to fall into the corner pocket. And then we hopefully expect the 4 ball to bank off the short rail here, head towards the other corner pocket. I think another, I'm trying to remember, I think the 7 ball here is probably going to bank off the side rail and come towards this side pocket, while we still try to get the 1 ball to just drag its way over here towards the corner pocket. All right, let's see. Go. That should satisfy the 3-point rule. Do not get in the way, ball. Otherwise, I'm going to have to combo you in. Yeah, I'm going for an 11. I'm going to combo the 8 in. I actually thought I missed the combo. Thought I hit the 8 ball too full and it was going to go right into the point. All right, so now what? Oh my goodness. Got a lot of action on that one. Well, at least I can see the shot. Slow down, cue ball. Okay, so the question becomes, how do I get position on this 5 ball? If I'm right here, I can just draw back and play the 6 in the same pocket. Otherwise, I can just drag the cue ball or push the cue ball forward, play the 6 down here maybe. Yikes. But if I get a bad angle like this, like I said, some of y'all may think, well, I can make the shot, right? But then I have to think about where does the cue ball travel in order for me to get positioned on the 6? Like, do I want to try to push it all the way up and then just bring it down and hopefully land for the 6? Because if I don't keep coming, then I'm going to land behind the 7 and be hooked. Or do I just still try to just lag it up and then shoot the 6 down here? Right? Those are the scenarios that I'm struggling with. If I put a touch of inside spin, I can probably try to land over here. Kind of like this. There we go. That'll work. But now I'm straight on the 6. You know, I would like to have some sort of an angle. So if I was just slightly over here, I could back cut the 6 in and stun out over here. Or if I was at least over here, I can use the side rail to get the cue ball out into the open again. Because now it looks like, because I'm so straight, I might just have to draw back to try to land right here for the 7. Unless I want to try to cheat the pocket, but I don't feel comfortable doing that if I want to score good scores. And that actually wasn't the greatest of shots. What am I going to do here? What am I going to do? All or nothing, right? We started the first set off on a good note. We try to start this one off on a better note. Hey! All right. First set we started off with a 9. This one we start off with an 11. I'm not going to complain about that. So that actually gives me 2 points to play with as a buffer. 173. That's how valuable these 11s are. 692, 584. Go. All right. Let's see if we can do that again. Every 11 I score gives me a little bit of a buffer to make a mistake. Just so y'all know, scratches are okay. Scratches on the break are okay. It just means I can only score a 9 if I do happen to scratch. But I'm going to have to take ball in hand on this one. And the question becomes, do I play for a 3-8 combination, or do I try to get back here to shoot the 3 in the corner? That is the question. This is a tough one. Not the best of shapes, but I'll take it. I was afraid to put, that was with no side spin, and I was afraid to put side spin on because I figured it would just like take off once it hits this rail. But now that I see the result that I got, I probably should have put a little bit of side spin on the cue ball. Just a little bit. I think I overhit it. Yep. Golly. Like I said, these are things I cannot do with the goal that I'm trying to set tonight. So was that 3, 6? I only got a 3 on that one. So the 11 might give me a buffer, but the buffer ain't that big. All right, so 173. Six, 9, 2. Then what? 5, 8, 4. All right, so that last break came towards the side pocket when it shouldn't be coming anywhere near that side pocket. Okay. Oh my goodness. What do you think, folks? I'll let you decide. Do I go for an 11 or do I go for a 9? Let me know. This is a really difficult cut shot on the 1 ball, especially to get position on the 3. I got 1 vote for an 11, 2 votes for 9. Let's see some more. All right, that's the third 9. Okay, so you want me to play it safe. So that's what I'll do. So this is kind of the same thing, right? I go from the 1 to the 3, but this time there's not a ball blocking the 3 ball. Don't you dare do that, cue ball. Goodness gracious. So here's a good question for y'all. How many of y'all would try to draw this, and how many of y'all would try to push it up? Oh, goodness gracious. And see, this is what I mean by talking while I'm playing. All right, what does that put me at? 6 racks, 66. That'll put me at 83. So I'm gonna blame the pattern, Eric. This is the layout of the balls are becoming tricky with this pattern. 6, 9, 2. Five, 8, 4, right? Yeah. Okay. No pressure. And Bank Time, I saw you were in the chat. I'm actually trying to use the same break that I used in your tournament. That's not going to cut it. So I'm hitting just a little bit too hard because the one ball is traveling too far. The cue ball is right where it's supposed to be. So I need to try to pull back some power, but not too much because I got to make sure I satisfy the 3-point rule. Oh, goodness gracious. That's what, wait a minute. That's 3 times in a row the 3 ball has jinxed me. 3 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50. That's it. I can't do it. Ah, blah. That was a crappy pattern. Oh well. Switch the 3 ball with the 10 ball. Should I start playing some 10 ball Ghost? No, we're gonna stick with 9 ball. We're gonna stick with 9 ball. Let's see, are there any questions that I missed? I'm glad I started, when I asked if should I go for a 9 or 11, I'm glad I started shooting before I saw your 10, Darren. All right, so it doesn't look like I missed anything. Now, I mean, truthfully, there's nothing wrong with the pattern. I still have to be able to, execute when push comes to shove, and I executed poorly. Started off on a good note with that 11, and then just everything went downhill after that. So Don Parrish, how do you score an 11? So if you've ever been to Bang Time Pool's YouTube channel, he's currently running his 3rd 9-ball virtual tournament. And simply put, because this is usually there's only 3 scores that I typically go for, and that is you break 9-ball. Regardless of what happens, you either can play the cue ball where it lays, and try to run the table, and if you're successful, then you'll score 11 points. Otherwise, if you take ball in hand and try to run the table after that, you can only score a maximum of 9. And then if you don't run out, you only score whatever balls that you made before you missed. There's some other scores that can be made as well, but I'm not going to be going for any of those. Like, the 9 on the break will hardly ever happen. I won't say it'll never happen, but it's very rare that it'll ever happen on my break, and that'll actually be worth 7 points. Or I could spot the 9 and then try to do a 9 or 11. And then there's a rare score of a 10, which I don't think has ever happened yet. Bang Time, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But a 10 would be if whatever ball is left with the 9 ball, you try to make both balls in one shot. Because if you do drop the 9 ball early, the 9 ball is worth 2 points. But you don't want to drop the 9 ball when there's a bunch of balls left on the table, because you don't get points for those remaining balls. You only get the 2 points for the 9 ball. So it's actually not in your best interest to drop the 9 ball early. But like I said, if there's a ball left and the 9 ball left, and you drop both of them when you took ball in hand, then that'll get you a score of 10. But my scores will typically be 9 or 11 or something less than 9 if I don't run the table. So with the goal that I'm trying to set tonight, by trying to score somewhere between a total of 81 and 11, that is going to require me to almost break and run all 9 racks. If I mix in some 11s in there, I can probably afford to score like 7s and 8s and still be able to maybe make 81 through 99. A simple 81 would be if I broke and ran all 9 racks with all ball in hands, and then a 99 would be breaking and running without taking ball in hand. Slim to none possibility, but it is a possibility. Uh, I'm gonna butcher your name, so I'm just gonna say Shiok Young. I'm not gonna attempt the first one. You're asking about my case. This is a soft case. I mean, the only thing that's rather hard would be the backing here, but I mean, there's a bunch of compartments in here that would basically make it I guess I would classify it as a soft case, not like when you say hard case, I kind of think of in-stroke cases where it's that really hard leather, but I wouldn't consider this to be a hard case. But let's get this show on the road. Someone give me a pattern. I really want to try to do this tonight because I'm only going to stream for, my normal 2 to 3 hours if I can. Bob Kemp, no, I did not try the tournament this time. David Briley, I have your pattern because I just don't have the time to keep practicing to stay on top of trying to to be able to win the tournament, because I would make sure that I would practice and try to master a break to where I can still be able to score 11s, especially under the 3-point rule. I already talked to Bang Time about it. It's just I do try to help out though with commentary, but between my APA leagues that I play on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then still being able to try to produce YouTube content, I just don't have enough time to do this. Hopefully, if Bang Time continues to hold tournaments, I might try to participate in the next one. Actually, the pattern I just copied is not valid. David Briley, I'm sorry. So I'm going to move over to XT Bum's pattern. Because you got the 9-ball way in the back. So I've got 1, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 3, 4, 2. All right, so 1, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8. So now the 8-ball is going to be the ball that drops on the break. 3, 4, 2. All right, and so for giggles and grins, I will go ahead and attempt to break harder on this one. And the intent on breaking harder, if y'all have been paying attention to the 1-ball, the 1-ball comes over here, hits the side rail, and if I don't put enough power into it, it just lands somewhere right around here. And but if I put more momentum into it, it comes over here and hits the short rail, and after it hits the short rails, it'll lean up this way, and I might be able to shoot it in this corner pocket. But with me breaking harder, I won't really have a single problem satisfying the 3-point rule. So we are going to try to break slightly harder. So watch the 1-ball. See what I mean? Now, the first thing you're probably wondering is, why don't I break like that all the time? Because I cannot produce a result like that all the time. This is like the perfect break. Oh my gosh, I thought I missed that. I thought I caught the outside jaw of the pocket and it would bobble its way out instead of bobbling its way in. Oh, that's ugly. I have to bridge over the 9 ball, and I have a crappy angle. And I almost missed it. I tried to punch the cue ball off the rail, and I hate that. But, whew, off to a good start. First rack, 11 again. There we go. So pattern, I'm not going to have this memorized. 1, 5, 6. I think it was 7, 9, 8. The 7 and the 8 are in the second row. Yep, and then 3, 4, 2. Okay, so if I break like I did last time, obviously try to replicate everything I did as far as power, where I hit on the cue ball, where I hit the rack. Let's see what the result ends up being. Oh, and the 1 ball gets hit by the 2 ball. That changed everything. So, ball in hand on this one. So like I said, that's why I don't really try to break all that hard. It's because like trying to stay consistent is really difficult. And then plus it just wears me out quicker. Really? Really, really? Yep, that's what I was afraid of. Goodness gracious. This is looking like deja vu. This is really looking like deja vu. First rack was an 11. What were the next couple of racks after that? Oh, and on the wonderful 3 ball, again. Was it 1, 5, 6? I just saw a comment about the 7 ball dropping. If anything, it's because it's banking into the cross side pocket. The one that should be dropping very regularly will be the left wing ball, which in this case is the 8 ball. Don't y'all dare tie up. All right, I think I can deal with that. felt like I missed that. I felt like I missed that. This actually really stinks because the cue ball naturally wants to come off the side rail, and do I either try to bump into the 4 or bump into the 9 so that I can hold position for the 3? Because any wrong movement, and I'm hooked behind one of them. Especially from that stretched position that I was in. And then now the question becomes, am I going to be able to go around that 7 ball to come back for the 4 ball? Nope. And I tie up the 6 ball. Great. All right, let's see here. What do we do? 6 ball can at least go down here. If I can get some type of decent position on the 5 ball. So, question becomes, what do I do with the 6? 6 can also go over here if I can get in that window. That's a really tight window, my goodness. Man, I really have to move the cue ball here. And I'm bridged over the 9 ball. Oh my goodness. I guess that'll work. I think I would have rather hit it than come behind it like that, because I was really trying to do this and come into it. But I guess that'll work. I can breathe. That was an 11, right? Because I didn't take ball in hand, or I did not take ball in hand, correct? Someone please remind me. I get caught up in the moment and I forget. Cool. Okay. So that hopefully kind of makes up for rack 2. Really wish rack 2 didn't exist, but whatever. So 1, 5, 6, 7. So I kind of should start remembering that. Just 1, 5, 6, 7. And that means the 8 goes here. It's the bottom 3. I need to 3, 4, 2. Okay. Okay. So really, 4. So now my second rack actually is a 7 when you think about it. If I take the 2 additional points that I have from my other ones, so it's like I'm almost recovered. mathematically. If I can score another 11, and that makes me feel like I'm at the even point. Get out of the way, 4. Ah. So yeah, so right now I feel like I'm like 2 points behind. I guess a really good score when I think about it. Oh, that was dumb. I was hoping to run into the 7. Oh, and if anybody's wondering about the table, this is an 8-foot diamond table. Most of y'all should know that by now, but in case there's anybody new, the pockets are 4.5 on the corners and 5 on the side pockets, which I think is the standard cut. Pro cut would be 4.25 at the corners and 4.5 at the side pockets, which I do plan on having my pockets shimmed when I get the table refelted. Oh, Chris, move the cue ball. Down behind again. I probably should have just let it roll forward and get behind the 6, so that's a 5. So if I have this correct, it's 1, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 3, 4, 2. I think I have it memorized. All right, 1, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 3, 4, 2. Yes. Okay. Well, yep, that doesn't count. I'll get one more try. And that's with me even breaking hard. Or harder. Ooh, thank you, 2-ball. You might give me an opportunity for an 11. You could have not rolled in front, and I still would have had a chance. All right, so let's try this. 7 ball. 7 ball's okay. It passes by the 9. So I don't really want to disturb it if I can avoid that. That was probably dumb of me to do that, but whatever. Meaning that I should have hit that with a little bit more pace and not allow it to just dribble forward that way. Oh, goodness gracious. I think that might end it. 5. Right? I can only get 44. So that's only a 79 I can get. Blah, whatever. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. This is not as easy as it looks. Well, Don Parrish, thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Hey, Eric, looks like you're taking off for the night. Thanks for stopping by, bud. Eric Lyons, how's it going? I actually met Eric Lyons in person when I was in Virginia for work. He was in the Maryland area when I told him that I was in Virginia. He happily drove. I think, how long of a drive was it? Was it like an hour, I think, from Maryland to Virginia? And we got to play some pool, and he actually beat the crap out of me. Really good pool player. He's also one of my raffle winners. There was a time where I was giving away, it was a McDermott Stinger jump break cue. When did I do that? I think that was for it was either my 1,000 or 10,000 subscriber giveaway, and he was the winner. So it was actually really cool to meet a subscriber in person. Oh, holy cow. So Jeff Warren, this is a gentleman that I would like to see accomplish his first milestone. He has a YouTube channel that he calls Fun with 9-Ball. And it's actually really a joy to watch him and his son just kind of just battle it out in 9-Ball. So Jeff, if I'm not mistaken, so please correct me, you are going to be giving away a 2-piece cue for every 50 subscribers that you have. And I think you're currently sitting at 43. Is that correct? Because if it is, everybody that's in the chat, please just go and stop by and just give him a subscription so he can give away that first cue and many others. Him and his son, they just play 9-Ball with each other, and they just have a lot of fun with it. So I'd really like to see him reach that milestone. I think he has like 4 cues, so 4 or 5 cues. So that for every 50 subscribers, so that's 50, 100, 150, and 200, or whatever, he'd be able to give one of those cues away. Oh, that's right, Eric. It was the spot shot challenge that you had won. I remember doing that. But I think it was in lieu of, for like my 1,000 or 10,000 subscriber, I made it a spot shot. When I got 10,000 or 1,000, I really can't remember which one it was. I said you had to beat my old personal best of 6 in the spot shot challenge, and I remember you were the one that beat it. Now my personal best I think is 17, but I haven't tried it since then on my 8-foot table. But there is a video of me. I do believe it's 17. I hope I'm not lying. I know it's somewhere near 15 or higher. Hey, Chris Nash, thank you for stopping by, bud. I really do appreciate it. So Jared Newman is asking, what is my APA ratings? I am a 7 in 8-ball, and I'm actually classified as a Super 7. I think that it was only like within the past year or two that I heard the term Super 7. And I am a 9 in 9-ball. Justin Gibson, you're going to have to be more specific on winning the stick. Like, what stick are you referring to? Jake Everhart, no, I'm not done playing. I'm just taking a break, which actually the break is over. So someone give me a pattern, 1 through 9. Super 7 means you're on steroids. Well, those steroids must wear off pretty quickly when I can't run the table. Let's see. 1, 6, 4, 5, 9, 3, 7, 8. You're missing the 2 ball, but I will go ahead and take that one, David. So the 2 ball will be in the back. 1, 6, 4, 5, 9, 3, 7, 8, 2. So that's what I'm gonna run with. Yes, Justin Gibson. So beyond that, I don't know like how Jeff is going to give away those cues. I'm assuming he's going to randomly pick one of his subscribers, but don't quote me on that. Jeff would have to confirm that. And we have the Cue It Up podcast in the house. I hope that's Nate behind the controls there, because it could be Jim Telfer, it could be somebody else. But thanks for stopping by. If y'all are not aware, tomorrow officially ends the VG10 2.0 tournament. It's already over. Like, we have the winner, and I'm not going to even be able to pronounce his name. Konrad Zizishkin, I think, is the winner of the VG10 2.0 tournament. But tomorrow is going to be the last raffle drawing for a set of Predator Arcos 1 balls that were never released to the public. And also, there'll be 2 more raffles for Predator Tuxedo Qs. And if you don't know what those look like, go look them up, because they are gorgeous. You can either get white points on black or black points on white, because those are the 2 that he has. And so sometime tomorrow, maybe the Cue It Up podcast, you can type in the chat like what time you're going to announce those drawings. He'll go live on the Cue It Up podcast Facebook page and announce who are the lucky raffle winners. So Cue It Up podcast, feel free to comment all of the donation options in the chat, and I will happily pin it. And so if you guys want, you don't even have to be a part of this. You can get your entries in and possibly get a chance to win a set of Arcos 1 balls or one of the Predator Tuxedo Qs, or if you're lucky and buy multiple tickets, you might be able to win all 3 of them. So, with that being said, I'm going to transition over to the table. And give this a try. 1, 6, 4, 5, 9. Let's go ahead and just knock you in. One, 6, 4, 5, 9. 3, 7, 8, 2. Okay, so we're gonna see that 3 ball, the ball that has actually been giving me the most trouble tonight, off the table first. Okay, here we go. Okay, a couple of unlucky bumps there on the cue ball. Otherwise, I think I would be able to go for an 11. So we'll take ball in hand. Terrible transition. This is actually another terrible transition. Oh, 6 ball. Why do you have to be in my way? Whew. Come on, I did not hit you that hard. Shouldn't have this much of a cut shot. Oh my goodness, now first set we're off to a bad start, so that's a 5. Actually did make one last adjustment that I probably should not have done when I cut that 6. 1, 6, 4. 5, 9. I know the 2's in the back. 3, 7, 8, 2. All right. My next YouTube video that I have lined up to publish is going to be another APA 8-ball match. I was actually contemplating between working on it tonight or going live, and I took the easy way out. Going live is a lot easier than editing a video. Oh, if the 1 ball didn't freeze up next to the 5 ball, I could shoot the 1 in the, or I'm sorry, the cue ball. If the cue ball didn't freeze up to the 5 ball, I could have shot the 1. How do I want to do this? Actually, I think following forward is probably fine. Jeez, I didn't. Okay, I didn't want to follow that much forward. Oh, I would have preferred you fall, now that you did that. It's really hard to tell how that cue ball is going to behave when the object ball is so deep in the pocket. There we go. So that was a 9. Let's see, I know I don't have this pattern memorized. 6, 4, 5. 3, and then 7, 8, 2. Yeah, got that one right. Okay. Let's see, so with my 5 that I have, I gotta score some 11s here. Well, this is a decent break. And I will try an 11, even though I have a difficult cut shot on the 1 ball. Don't you dare get straight in. Oh, goodness gracious. Seriously? Hit the point. There we go. Stop! It's going to get one good thing followed by a bad thing. Hey, all right. Okay. So that puts my first rack at 7, so I'm only 2 points behind. All right, 6, 4, 5, wasn't it? Yeah. And 7, 8, 2. Okay, I think I have the pattern memorized. Come on, big bounce, 1. Ah. Oh man, did I baby that? No, I'm okay. Well, maybe a little. Now I'm going to get a little too close to that 4 ball. I cannot believe I did that. Oh man. 5. It's only a 4. Gee whiz. That puts me back behind again. I saw a question. Yeah, Bang Time, I can see your comments. Clean that chalk mark off. All right, so can I even do it again? So I've got 55 would make an 84. Golly. This is too much pressure, trying to break and run all these racks. Ah. I think I might have a better breakdown now. Maybe my next set will be a little bit more successful. But we're not done with this set. We're far from done with this set. Ooh, that point almost ruined me. Oh gosh, I think maybe maybe we're done after that. That's a 6. So, yep, we're done. Ah, goodness gracious. Or we're done with this set. We're not done for the night. We're just done with this set. All right, let's see what we got here. Yes, Cue It Up Podcast. I am using a Teom chalk. And knock it off. You know you play better than me. I do wish I had a set of Arcos 1 balls that I can hit with. Hopefully I'm lucky enough to hit one of those raffles. I bought plenty enough entries for it. And yes, you are one of the prime reasons why transition has worked its way into my vocabulary. Oh, I know when I'm getting all my stuff. What do I have coming so far? I know I have 2 poison jump break cues. I either have 1 or 2 pieces of Roku chalk. I already did win a set of balls. So luckily, hopefully I can maybe win another one. And then probably some poison gloves, some more chalk. Some more predator chalk, etc., etc. I know I got a nice package coming. So stay tuned, everybody, because when I do get all my prizes from the VG10 2.0, I'm more than likely going to do a live stream of me unboxing everything. Because last time I actually did a recorded video of me unboxing everything, but I think this time I'm going to do a live stream. Mainly because I think some, as Nate put it to me, I'm going to be getting some PG-13 gag gifts. to go along with the stuff that I won. Chuck and Heather calling, do I like Predator Chalk? The short answer is yes. But lately I've discovered that while I've been doing some of these virtual tournaments, it does get in the way because it leaves residue on the cue ball, and I've had some times where that residue does get in my way, because if the chalk residue on the cue ball comes in contact with the object ball right at the moment of contact, it causes the object ball to skid, and that most likely causes me to miss the shot. And so after having that happen one too many times in the virtual tournament, I decided to try a different piece of chalk. Based on some reviews that I've seen from Dr. Dave and the Billiard Corner, when they did some reviews on some different pieces of chalk, I decided to try Teom. And Teom so far has been really good for the most part. I hardly see any residue on the cue ball, so I have a lot less skids when I shoot. Harley Cox, you want to know if I gamble? The answer is yes. I don't gamble big because I don't really try to score a lot of money when I gamble. I like to keep it friendly. I don't want to get into situations to where if my opponent loses a lot of money, they're willing to fight for losing that amount of money. I'd rather keep it friendly, anywhere between $5 to $10, maybe $20 a game. And as long as the amount just doesn't get too terribly high. I don't mind doing like a race for like $100 or something, just something that keeps it semi-friendly. Not like what happened between Billy Thorpe and Rob Saez. That is pretty much it, Ron Johnson. I do almost win everything, though. I think I've only won one raffle from this current event. One raffle. The other things that I've won is primarily through donation incentives, where I was the highest bidder into for whatever the incentive was. But enough of that. I'm ready to try another set here. So someone give me a pattern. Give me numbers 1 through 9. Or actually, I really only need 2 through 8, but it's whatever. Or I will use my own pattern. That's one of the toughest ones. I'm assuming the 9 ball is in the middle, so I'll make sure to put it there. 1, 4, 5, 3, 9, 8. And then 2, 6, 7. Is that right? Cue it up podcast. 1, 4, 5, 3, 9, 8, 2, 6, 7. Well, that's what I'm going to run with. Here we go. 1, 4, 5, 3, 9, 8. This is supposedly one of the hardest ones, according to the Cue It Up. Let's find out. Let's see what kind of layouts I get from my breaks. So 1, 4, 5, 3, 9, 8, and then 2, 6, 7. All right, so the 8 ball is going to be falling. We're well aware of that. The 1 ball and the 7 ball should be behind the head string when I'm done. Let's see what happens. Four ball might bank into the cross side pocket. Not bad, not bad. Four ball did bank. Oh, goodness gracious, do I want... You know what? I don't. Let's start off slowly. Let's start off slowly. Oh, come on, cue ball. Why'd you have to get a back angle? Okay, this is already being a little bit harder than it needs to be. Whoa, slow down. Just give me a good half ball hit angle here. Okay. I'd rather start off with that than fumble like I did before. Oh yeah, definitely, Nate. Like the community here is freaking awesome, and actually, it's the Bang Time Pool YouTube channel that basically started it with his virtual 9-ball tournament. So we're not talking about like we're seeing professional level of play here. We're seeing the relatable average / amateur pool player play, and everybody's been able to keep in touch ever since. And it's been great actually. It really has been. 398-267. Probably one of the biggest benefits that I can say that I've gotten out of becoming a YouTuber is meeting everybody online, and some people that I've actually met in person. Oh, 7-ball. I didn't really want the 1-ball to drop, but the 7-ball didn't get in my way. I would have had position for the 2. So, but this is okay. Until I go do something dumb like this. Oh, okay, let's see here. Yeah, y'all might be wondering, well, what was so hard about that? Well, I had given myself an angle on the 3 to where if I wasn't careful, I can easily get hooked behind the 5. So when I decide to follow forward, you should see the danger that I'm running into because of how soft I hit that. So imagine if I hit it a little bit harder, I'm probably either going to freeze up next to the 4-ball or bump the 4-ball to where I don't have a shot. Those were all the things that I was worried about. The shot may look easy, but it's actually harder than you think. Lots of things could have gone wrong. And if I were paying attention, this is the same thing. I'm actually on the wrong side of the 5 ball. My cue ball is going this way. So I should have let it roll forward a little bit more. I should have checked that before I shot. But let's see here. Because if I stop the cue ball, that gives me a back cut on the 6, which means my cue ball has to do this to get position on the 7 ball. So if I draw back far enough, which is line, I have to get somewhere over here to shoot the 6 into the corner and just stun over for position on the 7. So if I were to attempt to do that, I don't know. So this is how much thought is going into my shot. But I guess I'll settle for this. Because I've now made my finishing pattern harder than it needs to be. Whew. Okay. So if there's anything that you're supposed to take away from tonight, besides if I do or do not get anywhere between 81 to 99 points, is really like don't take anything for granted on the table. Like you think that, oh, I can just shoot this ball and I'm going to get position, but then you don't realize what kind of position you actually got, because now you have to flare the cue ball around the table just to get position on the next ball. Which you can say to yourself, oh, I can do that. I mean, sure. But then you don't realize how much danger you're running into when you have to flare the cue ball like that. You can get hooked behind the ball. The ball can travel a little bit farther than you want it to because you have to put more power into it. Like there's just all kinds of things that can go wrong if you're just not really careful with how you're playing position. 398267. Because I've had plenty of people ask me before, like when they're watching me shoot and they see that I have like, you know, what appears to be a rather easy shot, and they see me shake my head in frustration. They're like, well, what's he frustrated about? Because like the shot's easy. And they don't realize that I'm thinking 2 or 3 shots ahead and how difficult it's going to be to go through each shot to get exactly where I want because of the current shot that I'm on. Because I didn't exactly get the position that I was looking for. Why the heck are you all the way down here? I'm going to have to look at the replay and see what kicked you down here. You shouldn't be anywhere near this end of the table. Maybe someone can say it in the chat, like, what happened to the 9 ball? How did the 9 ball get all the way down there? What kicked it? It had to have been kicked. Something kicked it. It doesn't get down there all by itself. Oh, come on. Okay. right. I think so far this is my... Actually, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to jinx myself. Let's just keep it going. Not going to say a word. 145398. I know it was 2 something. 267. I think this will be one of the first times I've ever said, you know, if you're enjoying the live stream and you're new to the channel, be sure to smash that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe, because I am working on trying to get to 75,000 subscribers, so that way I can do another nice giveaway. I've already got the majority. I'm actually going to be giving away a package of items. I've disclosed it a couple of times in other areas, but I'm not going to say it in the live stream. Just help me get on my way to 75,000 subscribers, and then some lucky person is going to win some nice stuff. Yuck. So how many of y'all right now would be even thinking about the 6 ball? Because that's exactly what I'm thinking about. I can get all the way to the 5 ball, but then what do I want to do with the 6? Do I want to play it here or up there? Normally I would think here because it's the closer pocket, but then that means I have to make sure I get position on the 5 to where I can transition the cue ball up here to play the 6 down here. But because of where the 4 ball's at, it might be easier to get the cue ball to land somewhere right here and shoot the 6 up there. Those are things that I end up thinking about, because I've already gone through that much of the rack. So once I get to the 7, if I get to the 7, you know, the 7 and the 9 are nothing. To me, this is the name of the game right here, getting from the 5 to the 6. If I get to the 5 and from the 5 to the 6 successfully, then the rack should be solved. But of course, something else could go wrong on the way there. But that's the key shot right there, from the 5 to the 6. So, which actually means that this is also the key ball, because how I play this ball to get position on the 5 is very important. And therefore, I should have thought more about this when I shot that 3 ball, because right now it looks like I'm going to get on the short side of the 6. I don't really want to risk moving my cue ball. Well, I have an opportunity maybe to get behind the 6. I can either lag it up to here or try to stun it out to here. Now it comes down to personal preference. But we're going to go ahead and take this one. Oh, get around, get around, get around. Yes, okay. Whew. So I hope the way I explained all of that made sense. You know, a lot of times this game can be looked at it as it's just too easy, or I'm making it look too easy when in fact it's not. There's just a whole lot of thought that's going behind each shot. And then behind each thought has to be good execution. Three, 9, 8, 2, 6, 7. Nate, if you're still in the chat, has anybody ever run some numbers on how long like a magic rack is good for? Meaning that, normally you're supposed to be able to just set up that rack, rather quickly. But then I'm finding out as time goes by, I have to take more time making sure that the balls are actually good. We had that discussion, I think, with Miensko Fortunsky and his magic rack, because he wasn't really breaking the balls all that good. Does anybody know, the average lifetime is of a magic rack before you might want to replace it? This is all well and good, but I'd like to go for some 11s. This is just too difficult to risk. So if you were following the principle, what's the hardest thing I have to do, right? It's to get from the 6 to the 7. If I get from the 6 to the 7, then the rack should be solved. So that's where a lot of my focus is going on to right now. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, gee whiz. All right, so this is actually really important here. So what it looks like I can do is I can just stop the cue ball. That gives me a really good angle to play the 6, and then have the cue ball come 3 rails for position on the 7. So what's important is that I probably want to make sure that I hit the rails somewhere right around here. Any higher, and I'm probably risking a thin cut shot or ending up on this side, provided that I use the right amount of power. And so I think I want to hit the rail somewhere right around here. That's going to be the sweet spot with some right spin. I think that puts me right where I need to be. See? Not exactly where I indicated, but I mean pretty close. And now the question becomes is, do I want to use this rail? Because it looks like I'm coming pretty darn close to around here if I put some topspin, and maybe I can hit this rail for a straight in shot, or do I want to try to just stun down? I mean, I might be hitting here, and that makes it risky because that means the cue ball is coming up here and I'm crossing the line that I want. I can maybe try to kill this with inside spin, but then, I don't know, that might be a little risky. So maybe the stun shot is the the way to go on this one. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm going to play it. Whew. Bang time, if you're still in the chat, that should be a new 5-rack record, right? Five consecutive 9s? I can just squeeze in 111. I'd like to at least have a buffer here. If I can just squeeze in an 11. 3, 9. And this is what I mean by really focusing on and digging deep and seeing things that that are happening in the game. If y'all recall in the last set, I said something about I detected a different way to break, and I'm using that new way of breaking. As you can see, I'm like making 2 or 3 balls on the break. I'm just not getting opportunities to score an 11. But right now I can't complain. I have the opportunity, but I'm not going to take it. Ooh, that 3 ball. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Let's see here. Yeesh. Okay, well this still works. I'm just going to be on the other side of the 4 ball. Okay. I think 5 to the 6 is pretty serious, so I need to make sure I do this right. Which means I'm probably going to want to get fairly straight with just a small angle. So I think this is too sharp of an angle. I think I want to be like right here. I think that's perfect. So I can draw back for the 6. See how important a minor detail like that is? So what I'm trying to figure out now is, do I want to play the 7 and try to come 3 rails right here for the 9, or get where I'm at and try to go 1 rail up for the 9? But I hope y'all understand that fine detail between the 4 and the 5, why that was so important for me to have this position on the 6 the way that I do. I think I'm going to go ahead and play the 1 rail position. just in case. Yes. Okay. All right. Man. I know you guys are there, Roopster. I haven't forgotten about y'all. Give me a break here. I just ran 6 9s in a row. 6 9. Let's see here. 1 4 5 3 9 8. I haven't memorized the pattern. 2 6 7. Yes, Nate, I am going to give you all credit. This is your pattern that you gave me. And so far I've been doing rather well with it. All right, here we go. Dadgummit, 1 ball, stay up. Ugh. Like I said, all well and good, but I would really like to put an 11 in here somewhere, just to give me that buffer. Y'all ever hit a shot and like the moment you hit it, you felt like you missed the shot? Because that's what I just did with the 3 ball. I actually have a bad angle on the 5 because my cue ball wants to drift away. So that's going to put me somewhere right around here at this angle. That at least gives me a possible 3 railer to get on the 7. Might have to really gear into the cue ball for this shot. I mean, I could do a 1 railer with inside spin, but that's harder. The cue ball naturally wants to do this, so I can just help it try to come all the way over here. And this is the destination right here. Any higher, and I'm running a risk. And I think I'm running a risk. Yep. Like I said, any higher, and I run a risk. And this is my risk. I have this really thin cut shot on the 7 ball. Might have to bank it, but let me take a look at it. Well, man. Take a closer look. Oh, geez, that's super thin. I can't even tell if the bank is open. I feel like the 9 ball is like right in the way. So my mistake was coming too deep into this corner pocket. I think if I would have hit the rail a little sooner, that would have opened it up a little bit more, and I would be closer. But we are going to try to cut this. Get in there. Come on, I'll take anything at this point. Maybe I was just kidding. I would have liked an easier shot after that. Woo! Okay. Yes! Okay. Okay. Whew. I almost feel like I need to take a break after that. Goodness gracious. 2 more racks to go. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, eat your words, Jake. I see your message there. Oh my goodness. Okay. 2 more racks. 2 more racks. Oh my goodness. Whew. Let's see, 1, 4, 5, 3, 9, 8. 2, 6, 7. Okay. 2 more. 2 more. Well, okay. Oh my gosh. My watch is trying to tell me that I'm almost there. Keep moving for 1 minute to progress towards your stand goal. If anybody has an Apple Watch. Oh, okay. Now the question becomes, believe it or not, the transition from the 2 to the 4 I think is the most important one. Do I go here into the corner or over here to this corner? Because it does pass by the 6. The most natural thing would be to just come to the rail here, but I have to make sure that I don't risk getting hooked behind the 6 ball. So if I hit the rail rather soon, like around the diamond, I think I should be okay, because I think that's what I'm going to play. That was another shot I felt like I missed it the moment I hit it. Okay, so do I want to play the 7 in the side? Like if I was playing the 7 right now, this would be perfect. I can just lag up, hit the rail, and I'm good for the 9 ball. So I think if I can just draw this back a little bit. Now who's bothering me? Oh, my watch. Apparently I've achieved my stand goal. So you know what? I'm actually going to turn on Do Not Disturb. Whoa, whoa, come on. Oh, goodness gracious. Seriously? I did not think the cue ball would roll like that. Okay. Man, I really thought I would hit here and just be fine. Cue ball rolled a little too far. Okay. This is actually fine if I don't make this. That just means I have to go for an 11 on the last rack. But let's make this. No negative thoughts. All positive thoughts. Ah, okay. I overcut the ball. Dang it. Okay, so I have to go for an 11. But at the very least, I've broken my old personal best of 70. So I can say that. Oh, man. So I have a new personal best. 145, 398. 267. All right. So the problem becomes if I use the break that I've been using, I'm probably not going to get a chance to go for an 11 because it really just hasn't presented me one. So do I do a different break or do I just play it safe? And, just like that was an easy pattern. I just screwed up when I shot the 7 ball. And I still could have made the 9 ball. I mean, I just missed. Let's see here. Okay, like this. I did not use the same break. I did use a different break. I have an opportunity for an 11, so I have to go for it. And of course, it has to be difficult, right? It just has to be difficult. Oh, and I screw it up. Oh my goodness. Well, whatever. 2, 4, 6. What is it? 2, 4, 6, 8. I got a 1. 72. 72. Trying to hold position for that stinking 2 ball. Oh my gosh. How long have I been? Oh, I've got time for one more attempt. I will do one more attempt. Oh my goodness. But there you go, bang time. Hold on, let me switch back. 9 sevens in a row. Take note of that. Goodness gracious. So I do need to take a break after that one, though, and we will make one more attempt. One more attempt. $72 is 3. I did have a running joke with that one when I was actually playing in the virtual tournament, if I should have scored a 69 or a 70 plus, and I ended the tournament with a 68. Like, I jinxed myself. Absolutely, Nate. We can go live one time and do this. I think that would be a lot of fun. Let everybody see how you shoot. Actually, Nate, whatever happened to your exhibition match with Jim Telfer? Like, are we still going to do that? Whew. Because I know you and Jim were supposed to do like a exhibition match using the VG10 format with 10 ball. Oh, let's see here. Doesn't look like a whole lot of questions. Everybody was just like in the zone watching me as I scroll back to see if I missed any questions. But I do see Edgar Giribaldo. So I am using a rack pattern, but the rack pattern is chosen by the viewers because the rules that I'm playing by are from Bang Time Pool's virtual 9-ball tournament, where the contestants are playing through 9 racks of 9-ball as they try to outscore one another, but they have to use the same rack for all 9 racks. So Bang Time will actually give the pattern rack 24 hours in advance to the players so they can possibly have some time to practice it. So under the rules that I'm playing by here, I have the viewers generate or give me a 9-ball pattern, and I play all 9 racks with that same pattern. Hey, John Knight, thanks for stopping by. Cue It Up podcast. Why am I so good? I don't even consider myself a good player. I mean, I consider myself to be a decent player. Now, the players that you had in your VG10 tournament, those are some good players. Like, my goodness. You know, if I actually had a 9-foot table in my garage, I might have wanted to give the VG10 tournament a try. Jake Everhart, advice to become more consistent on running racks. I kind of feel like that is the same question on that was asked earlier, which is to, like, you know, how do you get better, essentially. And I'll go ahead and answer it again, and it's still the same question or the same answer that I like to give, is that you basically just need to be aware of what you are capable of doing and what you're not capable of doing. So like when you're playing in competition, you very rarely should ever try to do something that you've either never done before or you just haven't practiced it enough. And basically when you're practicing, you should be working on what you're weak at. Is there a particular angled shot that you're weak at shooting? But not only are you weak at shooting that shot, are you weak at shooting that shot and getting position on the next ball? Right? Everything that you work on in practice should be something that you're basically weak at, not anything that you're good at unless you're just trying to fine-tune it some. But then when push comes to shove, anytime you make a mistake, you really need to analyze that mistake and truly figure out what the mistake was, besides saying I missed, or I overcut the ball, or I undercut the ball. Right? It's very easy to dismiss a shot when you miss, when you probably don't even know why you missed. In other words, did you miss because you just misaimed? Did you miss because you actually twitch your grip hand at the last second of your stroke and you actually don't hit the cue ball where you want to hit the cue ball? Like if you're hitting in the center and you accidentally twitch and now you put left spin or right spin, top spin or bottom spin? Did you miss because of the previous shots? Like how I almost missed my 7 ball because of how I played the 6 ball. Like that 7 ball was so difficult because of how I played the 6 ball. If I would have missed the 7 ball, I wouldn't blame me not running that rack on missing the 7 ball. I would blame it on how I played the 6 ball and make sure that I play the 6 ball, that same exact shot, that I play it better. And I actually explained how I should have played it better when I was playing that rack. You take note of all those things, and those are the things that you really, really should be working on when you're practicing. And when you're able to do that, I mean, then your racks just become more consistent as far as running patterns and stuff. There's been a lot of stuff that I've been explaining during the course of this where I explain how very important it is when I play this shot to this shot. Like all the other shots are easy, but there's one particular shot in the rack that's very, very important, because if I don't get the position that I'm looking for on that very important shot, I run the risk of not being able to run out the rack. So those are all the little things that I try to look at when I'm playing. I said earlier in my last set that I found a different way to break. I felt it when I struck, and I saw the way the ball spread and everything else, and I used it throughout this entire set. And what did that allow me to do? That it allowed me to put up 7 9s, because I was making 3 or 4 balls on the break, and if I'm taking ball in hand, I'm more than likely going to run 5 or 6 balls on the table, right? And then I just blundered on the last 2 racks. Right, so that's the human side of me. I'm not a perfect player. I'm gonna make mistakes, like I did on the last 2 racks. But those are the things that I always look for when I'm actually playing. Anytime I make a mistake, I don't go just well, I missed the shot. I really try to figure out why did I miss the shot. That would be my advice on how to become more consistent, or how to become better. Because at the end of the day, you're clearly gonna have to start working on skills. You can run racks, right? But while you're running racks, like what I'm doing here, what am I not doing? You're not seeing me kick at a ball. You're not seeing me jump at a ball. You're not seeing me have to play combos or caroms, right? These are all skill sets that you actually still need to have in this game, and you're not seeing me play a safety either, right? So when you're running racks, there are other mechanics in the game that you're not practicing on, that you do need to practice on as well, because here in a Ghost format, I'm not worried about any of those other mechanics because they're hardly ever going to come up. Hardly ever. At the very least, I might have to do a kick shot from time to time, and I might have to do a jump shot from time to time, and a combo from time to time. But if I'm getting the spreads that I got during this last set, I'm not doing any of that. So therefore, I'm not getting chances to practice on them. Yeah, Cue It Up podcast, you couldn't have said it any better. The moment you consider yourself to be a good player is the moment you stop striving to be better. And I feel the exact same way, which is literally why I do not like to consider myself to be a good player. The only adjective I'm comfortable using is decent, but all I have to do is compare myself to Shane Van Boning or Skylar Woodward, and yeah, I'm not good. The moment you just really raise the bar like that, I'm somewhere deep down in the middle, maybe the lower middle of the hierarchy. I think one of the packages that I purchased included some apparel, but if you just want to throw me some free swag, I'm not going to say no, and I'll gladly wear it during one of my videos. Speaking of which, everybody, you see the Cue It Up podcast in here, and so if you've been paying attention to my community wall when I was helping promote the VG10 2.0 tournament, just go over to the Cue It Up podcast YouTube channel, or go to the Cue It Up podcast Facebook page. I think it's just facebook.com/Cue It Up podcast. Be sure to follow, and subscribe, because I think the next event that is scheduled to happen, I don't know exactly when, is going to be the VG9 1.0, and that is going to be with the ladies. I think the only lady that competed, or no, we had two women at least compete in the VG10, and that was Margaret Fefilova and Kelly Fisher. But now for the VG9, we're going to see nothing but the ladies play. So be sure to tune in for the VG9 1.0 and support the women out there that are going to be playing in that event. And of course, I'm pretty sure there's going to be lots of cool prizes that could be won, just like the stuff that I've won from the VG1 and the VG2. February 18th through the 25th, so mark that on your calendars, folks. Jeff Warren, you're saying you don't see me bank, they're not worth it. They're going to be worth it when your opponent leaves you a bank shot. I don't think you can argue that, right? Every mechanic that's in the game is worth having because you're bound to have to use it at some point in time, especially when your opponent plays some sort of safety. You're going to end up doing some sort of shot that is quote unquote not worth it, but you have to do it nonetheless. Okay, I think I'm ready. I think my break is over. Someone give me one last pattern to try. Ooh, is that your current lineup that you have for VG9? Kelly Fisher, Margaret Fefilova, names that I can't even read. Pia Filler, I think that's Joshua Filler's sister, I think. Monica, I believe that's Monica Webb. And then is that? Oh, Ina Kaplan, okay, and then Wei Shu Shen. Those are going to be some of the ladies that are going to be playing. Jared Newman, I have your pattern. So 1, 3, 5. Oh, I almost is that the same pattern that I just did? Like, I'd be thankful if it was, since I was able to do so well, but it is slightly different. Oh, Pia is Josh's wife. I am sorry. I had that totally wrong. So if Josh Filler sees this live stream, I am totally wrong for misspeaking there, and I do apologize. Does Josh have a sister that plays? Because I know like Albin Ocean and Jasmine Ocean. Or did I just confuse him with Albin and Jasmine? That's too funny. Okay. Okay, so I must have been confusing Josh and Pia with Albin and Jasmine. Okay, here we go. This is going to be the last attempt for tonight. Let's see if I can get it. 1, 3, 5, 4, 9, 7. I might as well go back to the break that was allowing me to put up all those 9s. And then at the pivotal moment, try to throw an 11 in there if I can, just to give me that buffer. Because if I would have had an 11 in there somewhere, then I think I would have been okay. I would have been okay playing it safe on the last rack. So 1, 3, 5, 4, 9, 7. Is it 862 or 862? Okay. All right, so here we go. I'm actually going to be using, I'm going to try to use the break that I was using that allowed me to get 7 9s in a row. Hopefully I can sneak in an 11 in there somewhere. But let's see what we can do. Here we go, folks. Oh, whoa. Okay, maybe we can start with an 11. It all really depends on how I feel shooting from the 2 to the 3. Because this is not easy. This could really change everything. Because really, in order for me to do this successfully, I would have to be maybe somewhere right here. That should allow me to hit and then come this way for the 3. Do I want to risk that for an 11? I guess I'll try. Oh, and I got way too straight. But actually, this works out. I'm behind the 2 ball. I just have to make sure I don't get 5. I don't get hooked by the 6. On top of making the ball, of course. Yeah, see, because I have to make the ball. Ah, goodness gracious. I think that probably ruins everything. 3, 6, 7. So that's only a 2. So, of course, after doing such a good rack or a good set, everything goes downhill after that, right? But we shall press on. 497. And then 862. I often thought about that. I should try to do this, and I don't start keeping score until my first rack is an 11. But I figured that'd be cheating. So that's why we're just going to press on with the 2 that I scored. So that way it's legit. Okay, this gives me an opportunity to go for an 11, so I will try it. That's gross. Oh. I got the position. Crap. If I keep this up, I might do one more. Whew. So yeah, this is definitely one of those, after having a phenomenal set, I'm going to have a really crappy set. But we're not done yet. Okay. Seriously? That's at least a combo. Well, I might as well keep going for 11s here with the way these patterns are turning out. The combo's not even wired. I should have took a closer look at it. Let's try to use the 8-ball as some insurance. Oh, goodness gracious. 3, 6. Was that 3? What the heck does that even put me at? 3, 6. Yeah, I can't even do it. I can't even do it. Not with that beginning. Oh my gosh, that was a terrible start. We'll blame it on the pattern. No, actually, it's just because I'm tired. Cue it up, or Nate, I think I might have had like maybe one troll come in here before, but they don't last very long because I don't acknowledge them. And I always advise, or I try to advise, my viewers to not acknowledge them either, because that's basically what they want. They want acknowledgement. I'd rather just watch their whatever their chat is, just scroll on by, and then we don't have to see it again, and that's all it is. We also have Demetrius from MN Pool Bootcamp. Welcome to the stream, buddy. I'm glad to see both of my partners are in here, because the three of us, we typically do some pool coaching reviews on my YouTube channel, and it's high time that we start doing some more here soon. Bang time, I already have your pattern, so I'll go ahead and use that for the next time. I am going to do another go at this because that one was just so poor. Like, oh my gosh, poor. But I do want to chat with people. Andrew Longoria, do I have allergies? No, I have terrible sinuses. So I've had numerous sinus infections in my lifetime that my sinuses are just all kinds of screwed up. So I'm always constantly dealing with like post-nasal drip or anything like that. That's why you constantly hear me sniffle. Oh, Rick Green, that's one of my locals. How's it going, bud? At least I think that's one of my locals. Oh, so there you go. It sounds like we got another Cue It Up podcast. An actual podcast is going to be coming out here soon on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. So be sure to tune into that. I'm more than certain you guys are probably going to be talking about the VG10 2.0 and how it ended? Or what's the topic? And if anybody's not familiar with MN Pool Boot Camp, this is the gentleman that I flew all the way to Minnesota with to take his boot camp. We did, I think it was 2 live streams up there. I did an interview with Demetrius, and then Demetrius and I sparred at a race 9 and 10 ball. I don't even consider it a sparring match because he just beat the crap out of me 9-2. And then we rung in the new year with all the viewers that were there. I'm in Texas, Jake Everhart, and I'm fine with just saying Central Texas because that still covers a large geographic area. I just won't go any finer than that. Though it doesn't take much effort to dig around the internet and probably find more precise where I'm at. That's not because I'm arrogant or anything. No one needs to know where I'm at because I'm like this popular YouTuber. It's after serving 9 years for the Department of Defense. And actually having a really good understanding of how private information should remain private. So that's why I don't really share exactly where I'm at. I would be tuning into that podcast, Nate. I think that would be hilarious. Ooh, looks like we got TBZ is going to go do the boot camp in April. That is awesome. I'm sure we're going to be looking forward to hearing how it turns out for you because I know a lot of people want to ask me, was it worth it? And my answer is yes, because I'm a passionate pool player that is striving to get better, and Demetrius was able to open my eyes on some things that I just never really considered, despite the fact that I've been playing this game for about 24 years now, I think. And I still had some knowledge dropped on me. And Demetrius was the same way. I actually helped fine-tune his 10-ball break, and he was able to utilize it very well in the VG10 2.0. It actually got him to the playoffs. So we were able to help each other. Yeah, Nate couldn't have put it any simpler. Do you care about improving your game? Then it's worth it. Eric Court, what's going on, man? Thanks for stopping by. Okay. This is going to be officially my final attempt, regardless of how I do. Why does my total still say 2? No, because I didn't hit enter. That's why. Okay. So I am using the pattern 135, 792, 468. So it's like all the odds in a row and then all the evens in a row. That's an easy pattern to remember. Last and final attempt, folks. Let's see what I can do. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're going to see the 2-ball drop. Hopefully we see the 3-ball drop in the cross-side pocket since that 3-ball has pretty much been my my kryptonite for tonight. It's cost me more racks than I dare count. But here we go. Let's see what I can do. I want to get some 11s though, or I'd like to get some 11s. Don't tie up 4 and 8. And, oh gosh, seriously? I was all ready to go for an 11 until that cue ball stopped there. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, I can't do it. That's just too risky, bridging over the 5-ball like that to try to transition to the 4-ball. Oh, yuck. Oh my gosh, I'm already off to a great start, aren't I? Gee whiz. But, you know, I'm happy with my, what did I get, a 72? I think it was. That was my new personal best. We can just chalk this up to how exhausted I am after doing that. But, all right, let's try to get some 11s in here and wipe away that 3. Like I said, all well and good unless I can get a good opening shot, which this is not a good opening shot. Let's see here. What do I want to do? Wish I would have gotten a little straighter. One hard shot after another. Oh, I thought I recovered, but I'm almost there. All right, so there's at least that. But I got to get some 9s in here to make this worth, or not some 9s, some 11s to make this worth my while. Do-do-do-do. Oh, that doesn't help. Now I have to go for a 9. Anybody that's new coming in, scratches are okay. It just means I have to automatically take ball in hand, which means I can only score a 9. I cannot score an 11. VG10 rules, scratches are not okay, and you have to make a ball on the break in a 10-ball rack. So imagine how difficult that is. I'll eventually try to do that format. above the line. I didn't think I hit you that soft. So this is actually a poor shot because I should be somewhere up here. That way I can shoot the 5 into the side pocket and kind of just drift towards this rail for a better position on the 6. I'm fairly straight on this, so now I just have to roll this towards the side pocket and take a more difficult shot. And plus, being so close to the rail like this, I lose access to the cue ball. But we recovered okay. All right, I've been working on this one. Let's see if I can do it. Nope. Well, I mean, that's okay. I'd like to be further off the 4th rail there. So this is okay. It can be better. Okay. 9s are all well and good, but with that 3 sitting there, I got to get some 11s in here. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Golly. When has the 1 ball ever been up here? Like seriously. I think the entire night. When has the 1 ball been up here? So we had one rack where the 9 ball ended up all the way down here, and now we have the 1 ball all the way up here. Like when has that happened? That's just ridiculous. This is scary. I almost like I want to come behind the 7 maybe, but then I feel like I'm risking getting hooked behind the 7. There we go. Just make sure I get behind the 7. Make sure the 5 ball is okay. I have options for the 5 ball. Oh, I babied that one. Goodness gracious. But we're okay. Didn't really feel like playing the 7 in the corner, so I tried to make sure I put enough behind it to get all the way up here for the 7 in the side. That way I can get my cue ball to do this. I actually didn't hit it hard enough. Like the position's okay, but the position could be better. Could have hit that just a little bit harder. Okay. Well, 3 9s in a row. Not bad. Yeah, I wonder if it's almost time to replace my magic rack. The top, the balls that are in the second row are getting harder and harder to freeze together. Oh, I thought I didn't satisfy the 3-point rule, but I made 3 balls. Right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, made 3 balls, so I'm okay. Don't want to bridge over the 7. Maybe it's just easier to just draw back. Or maybe it's easier to just stun over here. Nope, I probably should have drew back. That was dumb. Let's see here. Don't you dare, but come down here, just don't scratch. There we go. Rail shot after rail shot after rail shot after rail shot. These are not fun. Slow down, cue ball. I didn't hit you that hard. Come on. Oh, that ape. I heard the vibrations as it rolled across the magic rack, and I didn't think I hit it that hard either. Gee whiz. So I wanted to play the 9 in the side. I think I'm still going to play it in the side, but I thought I hit that one softer than the last shot that I did like this. Oh, I overcut it. Golly. Well, I think I can afford an 8. What can I do here? 44? Oh, geez. That puts me at 82. I have to do nothing but 11s for the remainder of the set. All right, here we go. This could be the last rack. And then I'll chit-chat with everybody before I call it a night. But all because of that 3. That 3, that very first rack basically ruined everything, which is really my fault. I mean, I'm the only one playing. But let's see if we can do 4 11s in a row. We did 7 9s in a row, so it should be possible for me to do 4 11s in a row. All really comes down to this break. Ah. That's so uncomfortable. That is so uncomfortable. This is like at the perfect spot where the foot that is on the floor is like literally like stretched, and I have to execute real quick before it starts to become a little painful. Ah. Oh well. I tried, everybody. All I can get was that 72. Whew. Right? Was 72 my personal best? I think it was, wasn't it? Because I had a 71 going into the last rack, and then I made a ball on the break, and then blew it. Right? So it was a 72. Oh, I'm still your hero. Okay, whew. So I can at least end the night with a 72. I'll eventually make another attempt at a 81 or 81 through 99. I seriously doubt I'll ever be able to do a 99. Like I don't think I'm that high of a caliber player to be able to do that. But I mean, who knows? I mean, obviously the more I practice, the better chance I have to do it. AccuRack versus Magic Rack, I've answered that before. I actually prefer Magic Rack because it lays flatter on the table, so it's less in the way. But AccuRacks are more durable, meaning that because the AccuRacks are made of like some sort of cloth material, you can actually crumple it up and then just lay it back out, iron it out just to flatten it back out, and you can still reuse it. So you can actually fold it up, put it in your case and stuff, and still be able to use it. But obviously, when there's a fold in it, you need to take it off the table after you're done breaking, because once the balls sit on it, it'll actually still lay rather flat. But when you bend plastic, it's done. So that's at least in my opinion, that's the advantage that the AccuRacks have over the Magic Racks. But personal preference, I do like Magic Racks better because they do lay flatter on the table. Therefore, they are less in the way. Jared Newman, my cue is a Predator Black 4.5 with a 12.9 Revo shaft. Hodges Lawn Maintenance, I have not used the Jacoby Black. I do have a Jacoby shaft, or a Jacoby Q now, thanks to the Q It Up podcast from VG 1.0. But I do not have the Jacoby carbon fiber black shaft. Neo, regarding pool table maintenance, are there any tips that you'd like to share? Because you're curious that since I keep the pool table in the garage, is weather a big issue? So my pool table has been in my garage for roughly 2 years, I think. 2 years, going on 3 years. And the weather really hasn't really been all that big of an issue. So during the summertime, it obviously gets hot in here, and during the wintertime, it gets cold in here. But what I can show you is this. Let's see if I can move the camera up to where you can see this. Oh, maybe not. Or, yep, you can't see it. Never mind. Because stuff's going to be in the way. So I'll just do this. Let me do this. So right where I'm at, right above me is my mini split, which I can control with a remote control. So this is basically a separate heating and air conditioning unit that I can use inside my garage. Because my garage is insulated both above in the walls, and my garage door is insulated. So obviously when I'm in here and it's too hot, I'll turn on the air conditioning of the mini split, and when it's too cold in here, I'll turn on the heater of the mini split. So I'm able to at least manage the temperature in here rather well. So you must have thought I was going to skip your question. Let's see, what else do we have up here? Yeah, the Revo, the latest shaft that they have for the Revo is the 11.8. I prefer to shoot with 13 millimeter shafts now. That's why I chose to shoot, or that's why I chose the 12.9. It's the closest to a 13 millimeter shaft. So the interesting part about when people ask about equipment, Demetrius and I, had tough times answering this, and to the point where we just defaulted that if you ask questions about equipment, we're just not really going to answer, because like at the end of the day, it just boils down to personal preference, right? And the only example I can do is this. I mean, I know I said I'm done shooting, but I hope I'm not going to eat my words with what I'm about to show here. But let's see. Let's find out. So we're just going to put up a pattern here. Doesn't matter. Typically, I like to have the 2-ball in the back of the rack because that's how most tournaments are. But also, most tournaments don't use magic racks either, so it's like whatever. But let me grab this guy. This is one of my house cues from Amazon, so I hope you guys can see this. This is just a cue. It actually comes in a 4 set. So I have 4 of these. I did give one of them away to one of my buddies as a Christmas present because he joined my APA league team and didn't have a cue, so I just gave him one. This is 20 ounces, but like this is probably like a $20 cue, and it has a LaPro tip, and I do believe this doesn't feel like a. I mean, I have a device that I can measure this with. Where is it at? Let's see here, because this does not feel like a 13 millimeter shaft. So let's see here. Give me just a second. There we go. All right, so on. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I'll just read the numbers. So I think this is like, what is this? Okay, so what is that? How do I read this? Okay, so every tick mark is a 10. So never mind. This is a 13 millimeter shaft. Okay, so the point that I'm hoping to try to illustrate is that this is like a $20 cue at best. Wooden shaft, not carbon fiber. I'm even going to break with it. hardly ever use these house cues. I have more chalk on them. But let's go ahead and break with this. It's actually funny that I didn't make the wing ball. So let's see here. That's actually really funny that I didn't make the wing ball. You blame it on the cue. But let's try to run this out with the $20 cue. Actually, let's make this a little bit more straighter so I don't run into the 5 ball. How do I want to do this? Maybe I do want to draw back. Whoa, not that far back. That takes the 3-railer out, or at least I think it takes the 3-railer out. Makes it harder. I don't know if y'all could hear how like squeaky the the cue is on my non-gloved hand. But I mean, I hope this kind of illustrates my point. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm going to run out here. Especially after doing a shot like that. I mean, I hope that illustrates my point. Like, you know, the equipment has like a factor. You know, much like how golf clubs can have a small factor for the golfer. But I mean, when push comes to shove, it's the player. I can actually feel the linen like on the wrap here. It feels weird. I can feel it moving when I grip on certain areas. So the linen wrap is not even wound onto the butt of the cue tightly. So, I mean, regardless if I make this 9 or not, like, I hope I've proven my point. Right? You know, I broke and ran the table with ball in hand. I mean, you know, whatever. But I know a lot of people out there, they're like really hell-bent on, should I get this or should I get that? Because, you know, it's great and wonderful and it costs like, you know, $10,000 and you know, and whatever. And, you know, all I can really say is like, you know, I mean, get what you want. Like that's really all that's going to matter. You know, because the first thing that you're gonna pay attention to is how does the cue look, right? Because if the cue looks ugly to you, you're probably not going to want to buy it, even though it's probably like one of the best cues in the world that you can shoot with because of like the materials that it's made out of, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But that's usually going to be like one of my number one advice when it comes down to equipment. Like, should it be the Predator Revo, or should it be the Mucci, or should it be the Jacoby Black? I mean, like it's going to be whatever one that you want. No. The installation project was not expensive because this house was built brand new. This is my second home that I've now owned. or am trying to buy to actually own it. I've sold my first home to move to this one, and when I had this one built from the ground up, I made sure that the garage was going to be prepared for me to have a pool table in here, because I had every intention on getting a pool table in this house, because I never had one in my first house. That's a 9. No, I'm not gonna keep going. I am worn out. I've already been streaming for almost 3 hours and 30 minutes, and 3 hours is usually like my benchmark here. Plus, I have to work tomorrow, and it's already going on midnight where I'm at. So and I'm exhausted. But don't worry. Like I said, I took the easy way out tonight because I was supposed to be working on my next. I have an APA league match in store for y'all for my next YouTube video that I'm going to publish. So it was either sit down and spend a few hours editing that video and putting all the clips together and stuff, or come and do a live stream. And I took the easy way out and did a live stream. But I mean, I'm glad I did a live stream. I had Nate from the Queued Up podcast, and I had Demetrius from MN Pool Bootcamp stop by. All of y'all stopping by. Like, this is the fun part. And I was able to put up 7 9s in a row, which is my personal best, on top of being able to score a 72, which is my new personal best of scoring in this format. So I mean, like, it was worth it. It was worth doing this rather than putting up a YouTube video, a recorded YouTube video. Going live was worth it. Hodge Lodge Maintenance, what do I do for a living? I am a software developer. I've been doing that for 15 years now. So I started off by working for the Department of Defense for 9 years, and then then I went to the private sector because I got tired of worrying about if I was going to have a job every year or not. Now in the private sector, I don't have to worry about it. Yep, I am a computer geek. Proud of it. That's how I'm able to do all this cool stuff here. I'm just kidding. It doesn't take a computer geek to do all this stuff. You just have to have the equipment and the perseverance to figure all this stuff out, as far as putting on decent streams, figuring out how to configure OBS and proper lighting and all this other kind of stuff. And like, if you go back and look at some of my previous live streams, like, the audio is just terrible. I had a Bluetooth earpiece, and the audio was just straight garbage. And I had to learn that I had to get this headset that I have here in order to have the audio that I have now. So it's been a long work in progress to be able to broadcast something like this live, because my YouTube videos is easier. As far as audio, video, because I actually use camcorders and different recording devices for that one. So it's been a long investment being able to build up how I'm able to make YouTube videos, which reminds me that I eventually should probably try to make a YouTube video on how I make YouTube videos, like what's all the equipment that I've bought over the course of time, what software I use, and what's it like editing clips together, et cetera, et cetera. TBZ, what camera am I using now? It's a Logitech C92. It's just a webcam. So let me get this studio light out of the way, and hopefully you should be able to see it. And I'll show you why I have the studio light. Yeah, so you probably can't see it, but this is it right here. Wait, can you see me? Yeah, okay, I'm showing the right thing. So this is the Logitech C920. I have this one here, and I have one in my office for when I'm actually doing like my coaching lessons or my APA videos, because that one sits at my PC. Because over on, let me switch views. Over on this side of the garage, I have another mount, very similar. Very similar. It's the same exact mount, but I have another mount on this wall that I can put another camera to give you a side angle of my table. And I've done that once before. I just haven't done it ever since. And if y'all are wondering why do I have this behemoth studio light here next to the webcam, I can show you. Let me make sure that it's actually not in view. So let's go back to this. Everybody's always wondering about the lighting. So if I turn this thing off, this is what I look like. Right? You can barely see me. You can see a visage of me, but you can barely see me. But with this thing on, Look how much of a difference that makes, being right next to the webcam. Now, normally when I'm just doing filming, I'm going to be out here, right? So it's not really going to matter where the light source is. You'll see me clear as day when I'm out here. But if I actually feel like just looking at you in the camera, staring into your soul while I talk to you, you can actually you can actually see me. I would hope there's not really that much of an echo with the device that I've been using, because there hasn't really been that much of an echo since I started using this device. But like I said, I'm not done with my garage. I mean, like there's still a couple of decorative things that I wouldn't mind putting in here. I've thought about putting gym mats around the table, like where you would normally stand and stuff, so that way I can like play out here in socks, because it is stained concrete. But if I had gym mats that went around the table, it would just be a little bit more comfortable to walk around. You're wondering what kind of case that I have. Talked about this earlier. This is the 2x4 Urbane case. I guess I wouldn't really consider this to be a hard case, because when I think of hard cases, I think of like in-stroke cases. I mean, the back of the case is nice and sturdy, but the front of the case is basically a bunch of pockets and stuff. And so, actually, did I say this is a 2x4? I'm sorry. This is a 3x5, not a 2x4. And it's got pockets everywhere. So there's plenty of storage space inside of this case. Any plans for a top-down cam view? Go check out my Nick Varner 9-ball drill. I did that because I would stick my GoPro. I would mount my GoPro on underneath my garage door opener motor, and it's at the perfect height to where it can capture the entire table, though it doesn't. You can't see anything around the table. Like, it perfectly covers the table. So the only time you can see me is when I'm down on the table taking a shot. And I'll do more field of views like that in the future, because when I first started, all I had was tripods. So every time I was trying to do something on the table, I might have the tripod physically on the table to give you a good angle, like on some of my. I think I did it on maybe like one of my ghost ball videos, or my masse shot video, where I had the camera like literally on the table, or I would have the camera somewhere around the table pointing at a certain angle, just to be able to give what I believe to be a good angle of what I'm trying to demonstrate. But for the most part, like, this is the most generic angle that I give everybody, is this angle right here on a lot of my videos. I should be streaming at 1080p. I mean, YouTube is going to allow you to shorten or lower it to like 720 and or what other settings, but I should be streaming at 1080p. Let me check. Maybe not. No, yeah. 1920 by 1080. That's at least what I should be streaming at, I think. That's what I have the software set at. Oh, you're saying the echo is for the, well, I mean, I'm not worried about the balls banging around. That to me that's going to be an echo because I'm in a garage. I thought you were saying that my voice sounded echoey. I would hope that it's not anymore. It used to be. I think people described it as I sound like I'm in a space shuttle with the devices that I used in the past on live streams, because I have a very similar headset for when I do my recorded videos, but I record audio separate from the video. So like my cameras that I use, they'll record audio also, but it'll be just outright horrible. Like, you'll hear just echoes galore if I tried to use the audio from the cameras that I use. So that's why I have another headset that's like this that plugs into a separate audio device that records the audio separately, and then I take both the video and the audio to my editing software and then sync them together. And if y'all are wondering how I sync them together, when I turn on the camera to record, and when I turn on the audio recorder, I just shout 2 times, check, check. And so when I go to the editing software, both the video and the audio will have 2 like audio spikes in them. And so then I just try to line those audio spikes up perfectly, and then everything's in sync after that, and I just mute the video audio, so that way the audio recorder's audio is the only thing that's playing in the video. John Walsh, if you're asking what app that I use OBS when I'm doing streaming, but when I'm doing like recordings, all of my cameras are set to 1920 by 1080 at 30 frames per second. But I mean, it's if you're saying 1440 or maybe you're asking somebody else that, you can normally get 1440, but it's only letting me get 720. Yeah, that's probably going to be a hardware thing. It's going to be the limitations of the hardware that you're using to actually record something or broadcast something, I would think. Andrew Longoria, I think AJ wants to know advice on how to improve his on-camera game. And I have an answer for that. You got to do it more. Like, plain and simple. The first time I played live stream was on Bangtime Pool's virtual tournament on my very first match, and I was a nervous wreck. I mean, just a complete nervous wreck. And you would think, after being a YouTuber for a while, that I would be fine, but it's not, because when I'm recording YouTube videos, I can make all the mistakes in the world that I want and just do a retake of the clip that I'm trying to work on. But when I'm playing live, it's go time. Like, I gotta live up to an expectation that I know the viewers have of me, which is much higher than reality expectations. But the more I did it, the easier it got. I mean, like, I show it off. Like, I'm a lot more comfortable now playing in front of a live audience on the internet than I was when I first started. And y'all get to see me make mistakes, which is normal. Tim Crumley, thanks for stopping by, man. I really appreciate it. You have yourself a good night. Let's see here. I don't think there's any more questions. Even as I scroll back. Oh, here's one I found. This is from Edgar Garibaldo. I think I've answered questions from you before. Coming from an APA background, do you play differently when you compete individually or as a teammate? Ever notice anything different in your mindset or approach? So, I don't compete differently as an individual or as a teammate. So when you say like as an individual, meaning like if I were to play APA singles, or something, and then versus when I'm on a team. So I have 2 teams that I help manage. One team I captain, and another team is captained by another individual that I've been training and stuff, and so I just let him captain the other team. I captain the 8-ball team, he captains the 9-ball team, but I basically manage both of them. And I train everybody that's on my teams. So when it comes to playing as a team, I make sure everybody's well aware to make sure that they know that we're trying to play as a team. So when one team member falls short of getting their victory, we have to make sure that they know that it's perfectly okay. That's why we're a team. We don't lose because one team member, like if we lost because of one team member, like you can literally describe it like that. Like you lost for the night by 1 point because one team member, right? They didn't win or whatever. Or they just didn't score enough points. Well, that's not how we look at it, because if that team member was in a position to where they had to win in order for us to win, then we clearly lost as a team. Because if push comes to shove, like the team should put the last person in a good position to where they don't have to win, right? It takes off the pressure. Therefore, if when we lose, we make sure that we understand that we lost as a team, not as an individual. So I hope that answers that question. AJ Tally, have a good night. I do have your message that I will be answering that you PM'd me on Facebook, but I will be answering that. Ooh, Corner 4 Billiards. Dude, you came in late. I think you were at least here earlier. Like I'm about to end the stream. My personal best is now 72. I had 7 nines in a row, and then I scored an 8 on the 8th rack, and I tried to go for an 11, but I blundered on the first shot and missed. So I ended up with a 72 as I was trying to go for, I was trying to get a score that landed somewhere between 81 and 99. And then my next couple of sets after that, I did 2 more sets after scoring a 72, and they were horrible. We won't even talk about those last 2 sets. We'll just talk about the 72. But yeah, so when I end the stream and go back and timestamp where everything's at, just go check it out. You can see where I literally ran 7 nines in a row, and then put up an 8 on the 8th rack. Neo, is this the time of your life, the most time you have dedicated to practice pool, or has there been other times where you practice more often? So the time where I practice most often is when before I went to college, because I started playing pool when I was 17. I don't think I went to college until I was around 21 or 22. I went to college late. And so that 4 or 5 years between high school and college was when I played the most. Because like when I got hooked on the game, I was going to the pool hall almost every freaking day, spending anywhere from like 6 to 8 hours in the pool hall. Or after I had a job, so I was making minimum wage money or a little above minimum wage money. And I would take my paychecks to the pool hall and just practice. But then when college rolled around, I tried to play pool while I was in college, but I couldn't play pool and keep up my grades. So when I was in college, I decided to not play pool. I didn't go out at all. And then during semester breaks, that's when I would go out and play. And when during that time frame, people that I was better than became better than me. And then after college, I started playing again. And then there were times after that where like I would take a few years off. Here I had a bad relationship that I was in that caused me to, well, I shouldn't say caused me. I chose to stop playing for about 3 or 4 years while I was in that bad relationship. And then when I got out of it, I started playing again, which was just here recently. I've been playing again now for about 5 or 6 years. But now that I've been playing again for 5 or 6 years, I'm not practicing like I did when I first started. I mean, I have my regular 9-to-5 job. I have my APA teammates that I manage. I try to put out YouTube content on a regular basis. So if you want to say like when I'm trying to make a pool YouTube video, is that considered practice? Then maybe so. And then when I do these live streams, that's kind of like all the practice that I get to have, that I dedicate my days to have, because I try to work out, I try to exercise from time to time, I try to spend time with my family and friends, so like I would no longer consider myself like a hardcore pool player that's like striving to be a professional or anything, but I do want to be a pool player that is capable of competing in like mid-level to open tournaments. Who won the Super Bowl, by the way? Because I didn't even watch it. Bucks did. Is that the team Tom Brady's on? It shows you how much I follow football. The Buccaneers is the team that Tom Brady's on. That because if that's true, that's just ridiculous. After all he did for the New England Patriots, he just goes to another team and just takes them to the Super Bowl. That dude needs to retire. Like that's ridiculous. Or was it the refs? Was the refs the reason why the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl? I know that's been a controversy before. That's hilarious. Oh, geez, Anthony, is that true? That's unfortunate. But hey, everybody, I'm pretty much going to go ahead and call it a night. I've been streaming for 3 hours and going on 50 minutes. This has been a lot of fun. I really wish I was going to be able to put up, like an 81 to 99 score. What is it? Not the three sets ago. Like that was the best I've ever done. Obviously, putting up a 72. Clearly, I could have put up higher than a 72 if I would have taken ball in hand on that last rack, but I needed an 11 in order to land somewhere between 81 and 99. So I'm more than certain that, like, what did I have? I probably could have, if I would have taken ball in hand, I probably could have ended the night with an 80. I think that's, with the way I played that last set, I think it's fair to say that if I would have taken ball in hand on that last set, I probably could have had a personal best of 80. So can you imagine me ending the night on having an 80 when I'm trying to land between 81 and 99? Like, that would just be brutal if that would have happened. So I can say that, though, that I'm not glad that I messed up on the last rack and did not score an 11, but I'm also glad that I did, because I would not want to end the night on an 80 when I'm trying to score 81 or higher. I hope that makes sense. But this has been a lot of fun. Like I said, my next video that I plan on publishing, I can probably work on it tomorrow after work and try to get it published. It's going to be an APA match that I have. It's an APA 8-ball match, and I am playing up against a skill level 6 in this one. Won't ruin what happened with that one. And I still got plenty more, and I do have a couple of 9-ball racks or 9-ball matches now that I can eventually work on and share. But between my pool coaching videos, my APA matches that I want to publish, and just the amount of time that I have, it's like I've got nothing else that I can work on. I have more pool lesson videos that I can work on, but the pool lesson videos take a whole lot longer to edit and create than my pool coaching lessons and my APA league matches. But once I get all those caught up, then I could probably do some other types of content on here. And I still have plenty of other ideas that y'all have heard me talk about in previous live streams. So it's all just a matter of timing and me making sure that I sit down long enough to actually implement all of them. So I hope everybody was able to enjoy themselves during the stream, and I hope a lot of what I did talk about during the runouts, how critical it is to play this game and play with the mindset that I have. And actually, it could probably go a whole lot deeper. Like, if you get a professional in here, they could probably explain everything that I just explained and just go a whole lot deeper. Because though this game may look easy when I'm running the table or when professionals are running the table, it's really a lot more difficult than it actually looks. And I hopefully illustrated some of that stuff where I would say, like, how important certain shots are and why getting certain positions are very important. Because I know there had to have been a couple of shots where most of y'all are like, what's the big deal? It's an easy shot. But you don't realize how difficult it is to go from like 3 balls ahead from what appears to be an easy shot because of how I'm going to go from one shot to the next. It might appear easy at the time, but 3 shots later, that third shot later is actually harder because of how I failed to get the position that I wanted 3 shots ago. When you can actually start thinking about your game and thinking about your run-up patterns that tightly and monitor it that closely, that's when you really start to see how easy the run out patterns actually start to become. And the muscle memory and of course the practice and everything else, that it just becomes really important. And as I said before, whenever you make a mistake, do not just say, oh well, I missed. Really try to figure out why you missed. And then that's when you're really going to start seeing improvements in your game. So once again, thanks everybody for stopping by. Until my next live stream, take care.